Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, May 16th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker number one, AYTU, big mover today, and definitely got to think a lot of people will be watching it headed into Friday. So let's map out some of the key levels. First area, nothing fancy, just really a question of where did the party finally stop today. And right up there at, there we go, this area, this late afternoon, about 268 is where the sellers finally stopped in. So no fancy logic, nothing like that. Just where did the party stop? And you can see on two separate occasions, price tried to push up through 268 and just couldn't quite do it. But as I speak right now, you can see a pretty hard rejection as the price comes back down, which now leads to, well, where are some of these areas of support at? And the first level, which I would call the ideal level, so let's change this to green for support. But the ideal level, when you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? And that would be if the price can stay above $2. Now, don't get me wrong. Assuming you care about the big picture point of view, as long as the price, if it falls below $2, does not mean the end of the line or that the chart's ruined or anything like that. Because from the big picture point of view, it's all about that purple line there, the 50-period simple moving average. Keyword being moving, because I understand right now the price is way up here. This line's way down here. But as time goes by, that line's going to move itself higher and higher. So it's essentially like an overall trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So as long as the price stays above the overall uptrending trend line, well, then by definition, the price itself is in an uptrend, which is what you would care about if you are bullish of this on this one. So yes, preferably stay above $2, but if not, staying above that purple line there as the line moves higher and higher does, in my mind, ensure that tell us that the trend is still in the bull's favor. But big mover today. We'll see if the momentum carries into Friday. Next one here, NCNA. Kind of a difficult one to talk about because it's all about perspective. If you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 10 minutes, well, and yeah, from that standpoint, the chart looks very, very terrible because there was a big pullback. But what makes this interesting now is the fact that it pulled back. And, right around there, it does become a valid question to say, was this a pump and dump, gap and trap? What's going on? And now we got our answer, and seemingly no. Not only did the price start to level out, but you can see here the price actually has a little bit of an upwards angle to it. Now, let me be very clear. Just because there's an upwards angle does not mean for sure guaranteed this pullback is over. My point here is, does it at least become plausible at this point in time? Absolutely. Case in point, let's say the price was still just dropping, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be bottoming out. You'd be totally justified to say, wait, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally still just going straight down. But that's not the case here. It has at least started to go in the upwards direction. Again, does that mean the upwards angle is for sure bottom? No, it just becomes more valid that way. In terms of areas of resistance, if this is going to find some momentum to the upside, right there at about 0.055, a key level that I'd keep an eye on. But yes, definitely an interesting dynamic and situation here headed into Friday. Next one here, QBTS. And again, a little tricky to talk about, all about perspective. Day traders, flippers, scalpers, anybody that bought right there and wanted to play some sort of momentum and wanted to buy and sell within 15 minutes. Yeah, from that angle, things are not looking so good. But if you take a step back from the bigger picture standpoint, it's just a lot of choppy action. But the key here is that the choppy action is still happening. What's going on here? There we go. It's still happening at a higher level. So just to kind of illustrate this, let's kind of map out the overall sideways pattern. So we have this general area right here. I say general because there's a couple times here where the price didn't quite hit that level. Other times the price hit it exactly, a little bit below, a little bit above, more above. So generally speaking, 1185. And then on the flip side of things, in terms of areas of support in the bottom part of the channel, we have this area right here at about $10.40, where you go through the history and you can see support, on and on. So right now, yes, today, not the greatest individually, but when you look at things from the bigger picture, it's essentially just this big old sideways channel. So moving forward, it's just a question of who is ultimately going to win this battle. Do the bulls win with a break to the upside? Do the bears win with a break to the downside? That is the big question. So grab your popcorn and let's see if we get any sort of answer on Friday. Next one here, GRYP, and a good mover today, no doubt about it, from where the price, sorry about that. I clicked on something I shouldn't have, but anyways, when it started off down at this location here, not so good, but ultimately bounced and was able to manage the, fight all the way back up there. So now that, to give credit where credit's due, that is a nice move. Is there any sort of genuine health behind this move? Well, I don't know, but we can throw a trend line in here and really help us gauge the health. Meaning, as long as the price stays above that line, then the price is by definition putting in higher lows, because that's what's going to be required in order to stay above that trend line. And price movements that are putting in higher lows, assuming you're bullish, that is healthy movement. So yes, nice bounce from these lows. Is it healthy? Well, let's just see, like I said, if it can stay above that trend line. In terms of areas of resistance, main level to watch, in my opinion, at least moving forward, going to be right up there around that $1.26 mark. So keep an eye on that. And if the price can get a good high volume break up through that level, again, there's no guarantees, but I think a high volume break gives it a very realistic chance to not only push up to these highs, but to potentially even go higher than that. But all in all, anyway, look at it. Great movement today, and we'll see if the bounce can continue moving forward. Next one here, NVDA, and overall, the chart's hanging in there. I realize it's not quite as exciting as when the price was absolutely doing these massive explosions. But unfortunately, in the real world of trading, you can't get those days every single day. And this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos. But if you have, hopefully remember me talking about that green line there as that ideal level of support, meaning what would make the chart look the absolute best moving forward. And that would be if the price could stay above this level. And you see after today, so far so good. It continues to even hold above that ideal level. Now, as I've mentioned on other ones, the ideal level does not mean do or die. So if the price were to fall below there, doesn't mean the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. You still have the 50 period right there as a potential support. But from that angle of things, yeah, maybe not the most exciting day for NVIDIA, but still an overall healthy looking chart. As far as resistance levels, 135.50, I would still call the main level. I would agree that it's been weakened up, because earlier on in the day, the price did actually get up above it, but ultimately that turned out to be a false breakout. But I would agree, like I said, that this probably weakened up the area a little bit. But the good news is the price is still within striking distance. So while there are no guarantees, more than valid to think that the price could get some sort of continued momentum as the price continues on up, or if the price, we're able to push up through that area right there. But like I said, all in all, not the most exciting day here for NVIDIA, but the big picture chart is still plenty healthy. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description area you can use, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area on the webpage there. Now, one special note, it is a genuine live event. So maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening. Maybe you're watching this video Friday morning and you totally missed it. Either way, if you're interested, send me an email there, clay@claychart.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay so that you can watch it at your earliest convenience. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one here is CLIK, and this is very similar to the one previously I talked about, where I mentioned how the price had made a big move up, and then there was that pullback, which is always, when things pull back, pump and dump, gap and trap, what's going on? But then we finally got some more information, and as of now, the price at least leveled out here. So as I've mentioned on the earlier one, does that mean that it's a guaranteed bottom, that this is a guaranteed end of the pullback? No, there's no guarantees. It just becomes more plausible to make that suggestion with some of this sideways movement here. So we now have the buyer stepping in, and then as far as where sellers may be residing, there we go. Where sellers may be residing, that area right there is a pretty interesting level. So again, no guarantees, but is it valid? Is it logical to think that if the price were to come up here, then be able to push up through that area, that break right there could create additional buying pressure? In my mind, that is a valid scenario. So if you like these sorts of circumstances, especially if you like penny stocks, where you get a big move up and then a pretty nasty pullback, but then things kind of chill out and you get a potential consolidation pattern for a curl back upwards, keep an eye on it. Next one here, PLTR, and overall sort of like, NVIDIA. Not the most exciting day, but big picture-wise, totally healthy, and this will once again mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched the past videos. If you did, the ideal level that I've been talking about right there, that green line at the 126.50 mark has held, and in fact, they did a good job of providing support right there. But even if that level does not hold up, not the end of the world, I'd expect it to be pretty strong on Friday, given that this purple line here, the 50-period moving average, has also moved itself upward. So there's almost like a little bit of a double whammy of support there. That doesn't mean that it can't be broken, but if the bears are going to press down through there, it's looking like they'll probably need to really bring their A game. So continue to watch this general area of 126.50 as a support. And then in terms of areas of resistance, this trend line up here, I did some work this morning. You can see, try to make a move this morning, but during that opening 30 minutes right there, it got rejected back down. I guess got somewhat close to it right there, but moving forward, that remains that key battleground right there. But yeah, like I said, all in all, the chart is perfectly fine. Not the most exciting day today, but we'll see what Friday brings. Next one, SMCI. This will mean more to those that watched the video from yesterday, but if you did, Hopefully remember me putting in that trend line right there, and you can see that this trend line came in and did some work early afternoon. Actually, a small little move above there, so maybe suckered in some longs, and then they got caught in a bit of a fake breakout there. But generally speaking, yes, that level is still behaving as resistance. Good news is that the price does not have to travel a great distance before doing battle again. You know, it's only got to travel that distance. Whereas earlier on in the day, the price had to start here and then go all the way up there before it could just do battle with it. But again, where the price is at right now, the price has only got to go that little distance, and then right there, it can already begin to do battle once again. So continue to watch that overarching resistance line as a key battleground area. As far as supports are concerned, watch that purple line as I've talked about in the past ones, that being the 50-period moving average. It will continue to move itself higher and higher and then get more and more relevant as Friday and then early next week plays out. But I think the most interesting dynamic, and probably the dynamic most people are watching and caring about, is all about that resistance trend line right there. So we'll see if the price can break up through there or not. Next one here, LOBO, and I should have put this one I should have put all three of these right in a row, but hopefully you remember me talking about the whole idea already. Big move up, came down. Is this gap and trap pumping up? You know, that's where you're asking the question. But now right here, we have the one little difference here is check out how it all of a sudden started to respect now that 50-period moving average. Beautiful job of finding some support, and now it's just cruising up along it. As I've said in the past ones, does this price action mean that for sure guaranteed this pullback is over? Absolutely not. It just becomes more of a plausible suggestion to throw out there at this point. So yeah, moving forward, definitely that level that I would certainly say is a pretty important level of support, as long as you're going to make the argument that this is some sort of, you know, pullback bottoming out formation, is going to be that purple line right there. And then in terms of the main battleground, if this does try to curl back upwards, that level right there, I would keep a very close eye on. So keep a close eye right around that $1.20-ish mark, give or take a little bit. But yeah, as I speak, during the final portions of the day, you can see the price is working its way up here. So yeah, can the price make a push? Can the price break up through that area of resistance? Grab your popcorn for Friday. Next one here, TSLA Tesla. And all in all, a fine day. Yes, not exciting like a lot of these other ones, but today just across market was more of a consolidation day. But for those of you that watched the previous video, not everything, because I guess technically speaking, this trend line here didn't come into play. But that level of support that I talked about, that being the ideal level, did come into play, and to give credit where credit's due, did a very good job of behaving as support. So preferably speaking, moving forward, 337.30 will be that main level. But once more, if the price falls below there, that's not like Tesla charts epically destroyed. You still have the 50-period moving average and several other areas of support. But no need to get too far ahead of ourselves, because as of right now, not only is 337 holding, the price isn't really that close to even testing it. But nonetheless, those are going to be those two main areas of support. If the price does try to continue on up, which as of right now, pretty solid final 30 minutes. Yeah, it's pulled back a little bit, but good volume here pouring in during the last 30 minutes. So if this momentum carries into Friday, then yeah, the next big question mark will be right up here, that trend line. Can the price actually get the push up through there? So all in all, especially if you factor in where the price was at its lows, Tesla actually had a pretty nice recovery on the day. But nonetheless, keep an eye on that overall resistance trend line. That'll be the main battleground point for Friday. So that wraps up the top 10 lists here. And again, if you like what you saw and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be this evening, Thursday, May 15th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. But as I mentioned earlier, if you cannot make it live for whatever reason, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay so that you can watch it at your earliest convenience. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, make sure you hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And also as an FYI, I have started live streaming, so if you're around at 11 a.m., and they go for at least a couple hours, but if you want to see some live trading, just come hang out. Then definitely check out the channel at that point so you can come hang out on a live stream. So thanks for watching. Make sure you get signed up for that free class, and hopefully I'll be seeing you here this evening in just a few hours.